The Batman 2 is officially happening. We're in Podluck now, so we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about the Batman. We're going to talk about Disney, and so we got our answer about Disney and Doctor Strange, and then we've got an article from Mary herself wrote today, and we're going to finish with Viola Davis roasting critics, which is fun. So it says the Batman 2 is confirmed, and that means that Robert Pattinson and director Matt Reeves are coming back. I went and rewatched it the other night. I was like, when we went and saw it in the theaters, we were sat on like the far side, so you couldn't get up to go to the bathroom without walking past like 10 people.
Oh, geez.
And at about 2 hours and 30 minutes into the 2 hour and 50 minute mark, I was just so ready to go that I just did. I was just also the movie, it had its flaws. I felt that the third act was substandard at best, but in general, Matt Reeves has never let me down as far as a movie that I think is awful, is like bad. It's just not. This isn't my movie per se. There was a lot of people who had comments about wokeness in the movie, or what somebody phrased as crypto wokeness, which was the funniest thing I've ever heard. And so, but whether that stuff is in there or not is not necessarily doesn't mean that the storytelling will be bad. I think Catwoman was. I didn't feel any connection to their relationship in this movie, which is played as like this big thing at the end. I'll fully admit that I'm not the biggest Zoe Kravitz fan as an actress. Kimmy is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. But it says, Matt Reeves, The Batman 2 is officially a go at Warner Brothers. DC's Caped Crusader has enjoyed countless depictions on both the big and small screen. The newest one, so he made $758 million at the box office, which when you think about Spider-Man made like almost $2 billion worldwide. It used to be a thing where it's like Spider-Man and Batman were considered your top tier of your super. Spider-Man is Marvel's Batman, but now I would argue that Spider-Man. I don't even know if I would consider Iron Man on the same level as Spider-Man as far as maybe now because of the movies.
I meant more like in plot, like.
Oh no, I'm referring more in like popularity. But Spider-Man now seems to be proving himself to be far more of a box office draw than the Batman, more than enough to make a sequel. But I think Spider-Man is proving himself more bankable, which has to kill Marvel because they don't own Spider-Man.
Painful.
They have to lease him out from Sony.
He's just such a great fit, the actor, for Spider-Man.
Tom Holland.
Perfectly, yeah.
Was it Mary? Was it you or somebody was on, or was it Dane that had some take on Tom Holland about how he's like a product?
That's me.
That was. Can you share with people that it's a little bit off topic, but
we were
that was
talking
great.
about older actors versus younger, and why is he so successful?
Because he's just too perfect, He's so chivalrous.
Yeah,
he's
a little hero.
He like every single time that they catch him on film is opening a door for Zendaya.
It's very cute. It's very cute relationship.
He's very inoffensive.
Yeah,
right.
He's like a dog.
Yeah,
he's
British too.
He did know. He had one take where he's like, it's time for non-binary Spider-Man, and
Oh my
it's like
gosh.
he's like
He's already done a
tried.
striptease basically.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
So he says all of the approved things that Hollywood tells him to do. It's like it's time
Just a
for
good little drone.
It's time for checks list.
Non-binary Spider-Man.
Whatever. Like I don't even care. I'd say go Miles Morales first and see how that goes because they're doing Into the Spider-Verse. So $758 million box office worldwide, 100-something million here in the U.S., 134 million. And I think even more importantly that it got fairly good reviews from both critics and fans, which is very hard to do in today's society. They tend to be on opposite ends of the spectrum. And the movie also did, I believe, what was this other article? So, the second best first week viewership on HBO Max once it came on the platform. So it's this was always going to get a sequel, but it's good that they announced it. I do love their desperation for records, where it says second best first week viewership.
Second best first week, second, third.
There's a story I found earlier from SpaceX where it says SpaceX says the first black woman astronaut into space ... for an extended period of time because
it's like creating new
trying so hard.
They love to create new records because they're
shifting the goalposts.
They're running out of first gay people.
Yeah. Well, first anything. It's like it's just not exist. I'm waiting for like first best actor award winner under 5'6" because I'm 5'5" and I would like to feel highly represented by at the Oscars. That would be perfect for me.
You should be, babe.
It's like weight categories. Oh my gosh,
actors do tend to be lower than average height, right? It's better
so,
for cameras.
No, I disagree. I don't think so.
Because the men need to be shorter to match with the women so they can be in the same shot.
That's true.
It's hard getting this majesty on film.
Also, in America, the average height is 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah,
for a male, 5'5" or 5'4" for a woman.
Tiny.
And Tom, you mentioned Tom Cruise. I'm not bringing him up. Somebody else is bringing him up.
Yeah,
he's always
like
the example of short actors.
Short.
But that's not,
DeVito.
what about Danny DeVito?
Yeah, there you go.
Have you ever seen that meme? It says Ireland's president looks like Danny DeVito playing Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he does.
He does.
Why do I know what he looks like?
So we'll see where this goes. This is very highly anticipated. I do think Matt Reeves was probably always hoping to do a trilogy of films. Plus, he's not constrained by the limits of like being part of the DCEU. He has his own little pocket universe where he gets to do his own work, which is what they should be focusing on. Stop making everything a freaking multiverse and just make good movies. Hair, right there. Stink bug in your hair, right there. Yep, you got it. She didn't freak out either, folks.
We're so desensitized.
Yeah. She's a pro at this.
They're fine. They're our friends.
We'll see where this goes. But Mary, so we got our answer about Doctor Strange. Was that you on the show?
No.
It says, Disney is refusing Saudi Arabia's request to edit 12 seconds of gay dialogue from Doctor Strange 2.
That was me again.
I can give them credit that they're willing to give up the box office. If I'm going to criticize Marvel for being hypocrites when they have their views and then cave for capitalistic reasons, I can at the very least give them credit.
But what if China joined in?
Yes, exactly.
Well, we don't know yet.
We don't know.
China hasn't taken any.
I think
of
they
their
decided:
movies.
do we want the Western audience to like us, or do we want the money from Saudi Arabia?
It doesn't matter. The reasons it's getting cut in Saudi Arabia are the exact same reasons it's going to get cut in China.
Possibly.
And China cut they knowingly hired Chloe Zhao and Simu Liu, who both have criticized China, and both their movies were not given Chinese releases. So
in Star Wars, they asked to take the African American
they
actor
took
off the poster.
They took John Boyega off the poster, or no, they didn't take him off the poster. They shrunk him down and made him like half the size.
That's ridiculous.
And
maybe Photoshop his skin lighter or something.
Even worse, what they did when Black Panther came out, they just put the helmet on the character.
And people walk into the movie and they're like, "Whoa, they're all black. What's
happening?" And I bring this up every time. I was like, "Isn't it beautiful to live in a country where that is not happening?" Yes,
of course.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So when you complain,
why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at my camera. I'm not looking at you. I'm saying when you complain about how awful it is here, about how terrible it is to live here, just remember the freedoms that we are allowed to have. These Mary's face right now is really funny.
I'm just looking at the Irish president on your phone.
I pulled him up, and it absolutely does look like.
Sorry,
it looks like.
No, I'm just saying. Why are we pretending that the U.S. is some kind of censorship-free zone? I'm saying if censorship is gonna be a universal thing, which it is. I mean, I'm just saying, like, gay dialogue isn't the worst reason you could come up with to censor something.
Depending on what your country, your country of origin, if that's their belief system, that's their business, and they love that. They love that argument. But I more care about the hypocrisy. I care about the hypocrisy of Disney saying one thing and doing another, while pretending to be bastions of progressivism.
Also, I didn't know that there was gay dialogue, whatever that means.
12
I didn't know there was dialogue. I thought they just have a problem with the character.
No, they mentioned that because America Chavez has two moms. So they mentioned that in the thing. So they take a problem with that. I do. There is one very not accurate thing in this, and it says Doctor Strange. Okay, let me find. I forgot where I put it here. He talks about how popular America Chavez is, which is if there was a lie anywhere in this article, it's that saying that America Chavez is popular because that is
have to keep hammering that in.
Yes,
and eventually people will believe it.
Well, that's what they're going for.
America Chavez is popular.
So popular.
It's like Riri Williams is popular. I'm like, I mean, if popular means that they exist,
hypnotism.
She is very popular.
Ooh, yeah.
You love America Chavez. Yeah. So it says Saudi Arabians have only been allowed to attend film screenings in recent years, so they're probably not losing out that much money anyways, right?
Exactly.
So, and it's not just Saudi Arabia; it's also Kuwait and Qatar.
Middle East.
So we regular.
Shocker.
Yeah. So we don't know yet whether China will do the same, but I have a sneaking suspicion that will be. It will be. The question will be: do they bend the knee to China?
Of course.
The way that Warner Brothers did with with Fantastic Beasts and a host of other movies where they make these changes because in the end the only color they care about is green.
That's right.
And I don't know if there's green on that flag, but I didn't see any. So yes, if he's lying about anything, it is the fact that he's saying America Chavez is a popular character, which if he was under oath. He'd be going to jail.
Yeah, that would not be good.
He'd be going to jail. So, all right, Mary, it's time for you to tell everyone about Jilted Pop Star.
Yeah, what is this?
Mars Argo releases highly anticipated comeback single Angry 3 years out from her lawsuit with Titanic Sinclair. So these are not household names by any stretch.
Thank
but
God.
I did. Not only were these not household names, I had to be explained to what a soft boy was.
I'm
right?
scared.
Is that what you said?
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay. What I
What
mean
is
by
this?
soft boy is an
I'm such a
effeminate
boomer.
man-child.
Yes.
It's
Pete
self-explanatory. It's like Ezra Miller.
Well,
Like that.
I
type of
figured, but
thing.
it's still the word itself
Yes, okay.
was new to me.
And it's mainly wolf in sheep's clothing. Like
Oh, always.
As they are.
male
Yeah.
as
Male
like a male
feminists.
feminist.
Exactly.
This is the archetypal male feminist.
This is
who
your
is, like,
daily reminder.
pretending that
Yes.
he's not a narcissistic abuser.
Restart
Basically,
the clock.
Before
yeah.
she continues, this is your daily reminder to never, ever trust a male feminist.
For
Right.
real.
Never.
never.
Just trying to get laid.
Be safe.
Yeah.
So Mars Argo's cult fan base has been waiting for the extremely private musician, whose real name is Brittany Sheets, to officially break her silence since her victory in a legal battle with her former collaborator, Titanic Sinclair, born Corey Mixter. All of these people have fake names, by the way.
Ridiculous.
In
Mixer is a great
2019.
name.
So she released this single on Monday, I believe. So basically, Titanic Sinclair was kind of her manager, songwriter, music producer, creative director when I think like 2013-ish, and they broke up in January 2014. And
Workplace romance is always dangerous.
it never
So
goes
I'm
well.
Just saying.
Thank you. Duly noted.
So
Me and Brett are doing great.
I know, that's true.
in November 2014, Titanic comes out with his new muse, Poppy. And Poppy looks eerily similar to Mars Argo. So they've got this distinctive platinum blonde hair and doll eyes and high-pitched baby voice. And
Everything about this.
they started with these YouTube videos that are very creepy but enigmatic, and Poppy just had this mystique. She became very popular on YouTube, eating gummy worms and
To be a
reading
woman,
the Bible.
to be a woman, to be
She
a
literally-
beautiful woman in 21st
one of their
century
shticks
America.
was she read the Bible for just hours on YouTube, and people watched that.
To be,
Interesting.
So,
Good for her. Based.
But following their breakup, Mars Argo alleged that Titanic started to stalk her, like come to her house, physically abuse her, and psychologically manipulate her. And primarily, she sued for damages because Poppy copied her whole brand and then became bigger than she ever had the chance to be
Interesting.
with her own music career.
be like Cheney Jones stealing Kim Kardashian's shtick and then becoming the owner of Skims.
Exactly.
Yes, so
Interesting.
that's the TLDR of their lawsuit that was filed in April 2018. They settled it in January 2019. She never got any money from the lawsuit, but she got rights to all of her Mars Argo properties that Titanic had previously.
That's good.
I do think he's kind of the artistic genius behind both of them, but
But he only knows how to create one
Yeah,
type of
apparently
artist.
one thing.
yeah, and then Poppy dumped him too, and then became actually unique.
Good. Good.
Every time a woman comes into brown hair. He's like, I don't know what to do with this.
Change this.
Yeah.
You got to fix something. I don't know what it is.
This strikes me so much as the Hunger Games. Like just looking at this picture of them and like her eating gummy worms and
that's him on the right. That is a face not to be trusted. My friend.
I mean, joke's on them for thinking that they could trust someone who looks like that.
I mean,
but,
they're young, dumb girls.
Yeah.
Silly.
So she's got new music coming out.
He looks like Kurt Cobain exchanged all the protein in his diet for soy.
Or it looks like Kurt Cobain and Daniel Radcliffe had a kid.
Yeah, that's good too. I agree.
Yeah,
I don't see that.
She was pretty much silent and on a hiatus for 6-7 years up until a couple of days ago. She released Angry, and all of her fans are going crazy about it.
That's good. Good for her.
Oh, they're angry.
Well. She might still be mad.
So hopefully that
this is just fair warning. Like, stop getting with these creative men. They're a problem.
Men,
notorious indie soft boys.
Oh boy. Yeah. All right. This is a fun one.
The more you know.
This is a fun one to end on. Viola Davis on the First Lady backlash. Critics serve absolutely no purpose. She's right. Critics do not serve a purpose.
They never have.
Film critics usually, I mean, in
it's
general.
It's crazy that every time they disagree with popular opinion about something.
Yes.
Every time.
So it's like critics today are basically here to lecture you and tell you why they're right and why their degree, whether it's in I don't even know. Most of them probably go for English lit, but you know they have a minor in film or a minor in film studies. There's no such thing in 2022 as a film critic review that does not come off pretentious. They always come off. I shouldn't say none, but pretty much all of them. When you read them, you just roll your eyes and you're like, ugh, I just can't believe I'm being lectured by this guy about this movie that I want to watch.
Right.
So it says,
everyone that copied my homework in high school talks about trusting the science, and everyone that didn't have the cojones to like put on a performance is criticizing them as well.
Yep.
And
she talks about that in here. It's like, that's why, like, when I review movies, I talk a lot about like what worked for me. I'm giving you my I'm not trying to tell you that the movie's bad. I'm saying why, from my subjective opinion about this, why it worked, while pointing out to you like your experience can be radically different based on what your upbringing is, what it is that works for you.
Your lived experience, if you will.
Yeah, so basically pretty much all of movies is anecdotal when you're reviewing them. There's things that are so bad that they're just objectively badly made because whoever made it didn't know what they were doing. But at the Hollywood level, that's less common because in general enough money gets shoved into these projects where it will at the very least look beautiful. It will look well made, even if it's not, if the story structure isn't good. But I can forgive a lot for charismatic performances and a movie with a good color palette.
She's incredible actress.
Viola Davis. Oh yeah, absolutely.
She's a good actress.
So in this, I remember the critique. First, they were critiquing the fact that she kept pursing her lips, saying that
was most of the problem.
That was they were mad because
what she does.
That's
Michelle Obama or Viola Davis?
Michelle Obama.
You think she purses her lips a lot?
All the time.
Really?
Every picture I see of her.
I just figured it was like
maybe she does, but it's not to the extreme that Viola was taking it because she was just straight up duck facing. Oh. Like, it looked ridiculous.
I had pictured her, like, looking into the mirror.
It was almost like mocking her.
I mean, yeah, she is mocking her.
And, like, she's made so many comments that are, like, she's terrified of what Michelle Obama's reaction will be to her performance. But it's like, then just do a good performance.
Yeah, do a good job.
I'm picturing her, like, the director's like, school lunch reform. You care about school lunch reform. I need you
She's like
to show me you care.
Yes.
That's what I picture here. So it says, online, there had to be some complaints concerning the facial expressions Davis had used for her Obama portrayal. There had been enough of them for the negativity to make its way back to Davis, and as she says in her new BBC interview, that she's well aware of the situation. She admits that it's hurtful to see such negative remarks, calling it an occupational hazard. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing I talk about. Like, I don't read the comments with the stuff. Like, I just don't. Like, I understand that it's the human inclination to want to clap back or to leave your 2 cents, and that's fine. It's just not. I just don't care. But for her. it's probably so much more, because now she has to get it from both sides. She's going to get it from fans who criticize it. She'll get it from critics who criticize it. And it's the price you pay to live at that tax bracket in the arts.
Yeah.
If you're going to work in the arts and make that type of money. If you want to work...
Those are the people who are the most sensitive to criticism, ironically.
I feel bad for them. I literally do, because like to be an actor, you have to be extremely emotionally vulnerable and be willing to put yourself out there, and then to have people second guess your facial expressions when likely did she make that choice? Did the director make that choice? She's not throwing the director under the bus. We don't know.
When he hit cut, you're not pursing your lips enough. Come on, let's do this take again.
Yeah. So it's like I get it. Like I get what she's saying. It's like, but I can't help but be a little tee-hee about the fact that she's like, yeah, critics are trash.
No, like,
she's
funny.
right. Yeah, no, she's
right. Says critics absolutely serve no purpose, and I'm not saying that to be nasty either. They always feel like they're telling you something that you don't know. Somehow that you're living a life that you're surrounded by people who lie to you, and I'm going to be the person that leans in and tells you the truth. So it gives them an opportunity to be cruel to you, but ultimately I feel like it is my job as a leader to make bold choices, win or fail. It is my duty to do that. It's like we were saying earlier, to create is far more difficult than to tear down.
Exactly.
And I have all the respect for actors who take their craft seriously and really believe in the message that, you know, whether you agree with whatever movie that is, or whatever the project they're working on is, it's a very big undertaking, and it can be emotionally taxing. It's a beautiful art form when it's done right. So if I'm going to be positive about the beauty of that art form, I also have to understand that the negative is not for a lack of trying, that they still put their best efforts in. It's just that not every performance is going to be something to write home about.
Yeah, I do think it's especially probably difficult to portray someone who's still alive.
They talk about that in this article.
Exactly.
That they have the most, there's more footage of Michelle Obama. There is more clear interaction with her and people on high def cameras, so people have a very good understanding of her mannerisms, how she speaks, how she, you know.
In some ways that should make it easier to act her, though, because you can look exactly at her and see exactly how she acted.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You think it make it harder?
Yeah.
Really?
Because like fans of her are like cultists.
Yeah, the people who like them will have so much content to look at that the notice.
True,
there's a dude, I forget his name, who does like he was in like the pilot of the show NCIS playing President George W. Bush, and it's the makeup. He looks just like him, and he sounds just like this dude, and it's really, really funny. But then, like, you see him out of makeup, and he looks nothing like him at all. But he has the voice, he has the mannerisms down. It's great. So I would not want to. I mean, portraying another person, like a real person, would be a huge challenge.
I think it would be harder to perform as a modern day person, because if you're playing Betty Ford or Eleanor Roosevelt, you obviously have like way more creative freedom. Nobody
What was the movie
can
that Rami
closely analyze what they were actually like.
What was the movie that Rami Malek was just in about
Queen?
Freddie Mercury?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That was a good portrayal.
Yeah, that was a good fit, I thought.
So
surprisingly.
I just she's calling out the critics, and I was like, you know, she's right. She's not wrong about that.
She's not acting like a spoiled child either. She's actually acting mature about it.
And she took accountability. She's like, hey man, this job you gotta take swings.
Yeah,
you know, sometimes
true.
you don't, but
It's sad that's like I'm so like desperate for people to be like rational, that I'm like, look at this person being like accountable for their actions and not saying that what they did was like great when it wasn't. So she's just like,
everyone clapped.
That's exactly what it is. It's the and then everyone clapped.
Bars low, man.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.